Do you ever feel like you're in a battle of wills with someone who isn't even tall enough to ride a roller coaster? The tantrums, the backtalk, the meltdowns, they just seem to keep coming, and honestly, it can make you feel completely powerless. Well, today, we're going to dive into the work of Dr. Kevin Leman to totally flip that script. We're going to get a brand new perspective on why kids really act out, and more importantly, a practical strategy to turn it all around. Let's get into it.
And that right there is the absolute heart of it all. This quote from Dr. Leman is really our starting point. From a super young age, your kids are experts at figuring you out. They know what makes you tick, they know exactly which buttons to push, and they know how to get the exact response they're looking for. And here's the thing, it's not malicious, it's just what works for them.
All right, so to really see this in action, let's picture a scene that will probably feel incredibly familiar to just about any parent out there. We're at a Texas roadhouse, a family's just trying to have dinner, and a tiny human is about to take complete control.
So picture this. There's a 13-month-old fussing in her high chair. Dad tries to help, right? He offers her a bite of mac and cheese. And what happens next? Oh, it's a classic. She grabs that spoon and, with a flick of her little wrist, launches the cheesy pasta into the air. Immediately, Mom and Dad just spring into action, offering her different food, trying to negotiate, basically doing anything they can to stop the chaos.
And just look at the results. The parents, with the best intentions in the world, are now being completely run by a child who can't even walk yet. The entire meal, the whole mood, every interaction, it's all being dictated by the whims of this tiny little boss. Sound familiar at all? Okay, so this is the crucial part. This is where we have to shift our thinking. Instead of asking, how do I stop this behavior? The question we need to ask is, what is my child thinking that makes this behavior seem logical to them? Let's try to get behind our eyes and see the series of aha moments that led to that flying mac and cheese.
It all starts with the most basic connection, right? This little girl has already figured out a fundamental rule of her universe. Aha! When I cry, those giant people come and pick me up. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful lesson in cause and effect.
And then she levels up. She learns it's not just about comfort, it's about attention. Aha! If I give my Cheerios a little push off the high chair tray, boom, they come running. She's just discovered that she has power. She can command the room. And the experiments just keep on coming. What happens if I just refuse to eat? Aha! The giants start making airplane noises and silly faces. She learns that a simple pout can get her parents to, as Dr. Leman puts it, perform like well-trained seals. She's not just getting attention anymore, she's getting a whole show.
And all of this brings us right back to the main event. Launching that spoon wasn't just some random act of frustration. Nope, it was a calculated, strategic move. She knows that that action will probably make Dad hand her over to Mom, where she gets the ultimate prize, a warm, comfy lap, instead of that cold, hard high chair. Mission accomplished.
So you see, all of these aha moments, they're all building up to one single foundational idea. Misbehavior isn't just random chaos, and it's not a sign that your kid is bad. It's a tool. It's a strategy they use for one simple reason, because it works. Now, there's an official term for this. It's called permissive behavior. And honestly, understanding this is a total game changer. It means that all behavior has a purpose. Your child will only keep doing something as long as it benefits them. The second you understand their goal, you can change the entire game.
So what are these goals they're trying to achieve? Well, they usually fall into one of four big categories. The most common are attention, the look at me stuff, and power, the you can't make me battles. But sometimes it can also be about getting revenge or even displaying inadequacy to get people to just leave them alone. Recognizing which goal they're after is the first step to responding in a whole new way. Okay, so now we get the why. That's huge. But what do we actually do about it? This brings us to Dr. Leman's core solution, and he calls it reality discipline. Think of it as the antidote to those endless, exhausting power struggles.
And this is where we see a huge difference. Traditional punishment, which is kind of our default, focuses on the child. You are being so bad. It's usually fueled by our own anger, and it leads to empty threats where, let's be honest, we lose control. Reality discipline completely flips this. It focuses on the behavior, not the child. It uses real-life consequences, and here's the most important part. It lets the parent stay calm and in control.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Stop lecturing, stop threatening, let the real world be the teacher. The consequences that naturally flow from an action are way more powerful than any punishment you could ever invent. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's walk through a concrete example with an older kid, where the stakes can sometimes feel a little bit higher.
All right, here's the setup. A 12-year-old son gets disrespectful with his mom. He's got a big soccer game coming up, and he needs her to drive him. This is one of those classic moments where a massive power struggle is about to erupt. You can feel it, can't you?
Now let's break down how this mom handled it. He's rude, and she just calmly states the consequence. No, you're not going anywhere today. He immediately apologizes because he thinks that's the magic trick to get what he wants. And here is the absolute key moment. She accepts his apology, but she doesn't remove the consequence. I forgive you, but you're still not going. He misses the game, and that's when the reality of what he did truly sinks.
And that's the whole point. The mom didn't need to yell. She didn't need to give a long speech about respect. The teaching moment wasn't in her words. It was in the silence of that empty passenger seat. Having to explain to his coach and his teammates why he wasn't there, that was the lesson. That is reality doing the talking.
So, what does this all boil down to for you? Here's your new playbook. First, try to identify the purpose. Is it attention? Is it power? Second, and this is a big one, stay calm. Your anger is just fuel for their fire. Third, bite your tongue. No lectures, no arguing. Fourth, let reality be the teacher. And finally, be consistent. Consistency is what rewires their brain to understand cause and effect in this new way.
And that leaves us with this one final question. This isn't about being a dictator. It's about creating a home where actions have real consequences, and where parents lead with a calm, healthy authority. By letting reality be the teacher, you're not just stopping misbehavior. You're raising a more responsible, more thoughtful human being. And you're finally answering this question once and for all.